Vanessa Torres here, president of the AMA Professional Chapters Council, and welcome to my UNPodcast. There's like we're just gonna pretend there's some really cool sound effect. We're not that professional. It's an UNPodcast, remember. So I'm super pumped. I'm joined today by the one and only Alycia Campbell from AMA Colorado. Hey, Alycia.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today. What's going on?
It's Friday here. It is cold outside, which is not good, but it's the weekend and I'm excited to be here with you.
Yay, Colorado. I love Colorado. Where exactly in Colorado are you? Denver, right? In Denver?
Denver. Yeah. Well, like a little bit like southeast, like suburb of Denver. But
Okay. Hey, I was supposed to go there for my boyfriend's birthday back in December, and you guys were getting like this crazy snowstorm. So we had to like cancel. We were like literally driving to the airport, and I was super bummed. And then when I texted you the next day, I'm like, "How is the weather?" You're like, "Oh, it's just a little snow, just a little powder." I'm like, "Girl,
snow, just a little snow.
I'm from
Everybody is not used to a little bit of snow. To
I
us, it's
am from Texas. We shut things down when we get like a little drizzle of anything. So yeah, South Texas, in fact. Yeah, for sure. Well, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a new I don't know, series, if you will, that we started this year from the PCC or the Professional Chapters Council, where I get to sit down and chat with current presidents of local chapters from across the nation. So I'm really, really excited. We have talked to, I don't know, about 5 or 6 chapter leaders thus far. I was trying to do one a month, but best laid plans. So here we are finally with Miss Campbell from Colorado. And right before we went on camera, she definitely ribbed me for not making her the first. So just so y'all know, we are dealing with the diva here. If you don't know her already. uh, okay, so we know each other a little bit. Obviously, we've known each other. You've been around. We hung out at Summit last year, and I just love you so much, girly. But do we really know each other? And definitely, folks who are listening may not know you. So that's my first question. I always like to start off with, who are you, and what do you do for a living?
I am Alycia Campbell, mother of 4 beautiful babies, which is like the best thing that I've done with my life and will do with my life, I'm sure. Um, I own a small virtual assistant agency that supports other small businesses, mostly in Colorado, but we've ventured out to a couple other states and yeah, just am on the AMA Colorado circus train and we're figuring it out.
Did you see the news article this week about the elephant that escaped the circus? Literally, it was like roaming around the streets. Yeah,
But could
great.
be me. Could
Could
be
be
me.
me too. I didn't realize you had 4. How old are the kiddos?
I do. I have all of the ranges. So I have a son in college. My daughter's in high school. My son is 20. My daughter will be 15 in 2 weeks. A 13-year-old son and a 5-year-old. So I have college, high school, middle school, and pre-K.
Oh my gosh, girl, you do
Crazy around
have
here.
it. Yeah, I bet. And they're all still at home.
No, my son's up at CU Boulder, but the other 3 are home. Yep.
Oh, that's a busy life. How do you fit in all of the AMA work too?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
just figure it out. I'm notorious for probably biting off more than I could chew often.
I mean, if you are volunteering your time in any organization, but especially I feel like AMA, and you rose to the like level of president, you're not like we're all a little nuts, like for sure.
Mhm.
Like, why do we do what we do? But the
Yeah,
passion, the passion we
exactly.
have for marketing, the passion we have for I think developing professionals in our community, I've always found so much value in connecting with local marketers. And I think, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
How
for
long
sure.
have you been on the board?
So I've been on the board for 3 years, so I'll be going into my fourth year come July. Yeah,
Nice.
going into my fourth year.
Yeah.
Ready.
And are you officially ready to hand over the reins? Or are you gonna do like another year at the top? Are you?
Yeah, I'm going on the second year. We've just maybe like several other chapters, we had a lot of building to do this year. And so, it takes a good while to really like implement the things on your strat plan. And so it took us a little bit, about half of this year to really like get in there. We have the things, we have the people to do the things. And so it makes sense. And I think that full transparency that I had to show the board that this thing was going to be sustainable and that we were going to be consistent and that it was worth their time. And so I think they want to just see us continue to grow until I get someone to fully commit to PE. Like, I promise I'm not going to hand you a ball of yarn to, unravel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I remember like y'all were doing some rebuilding over the last couple of years. Amy Colorado um has has gone through it, I think, over the last couple of years. And thankfully your steady leadership, you came in and really helping to grow the chapter. So that consistency is super important for sure. Um,
Mhm.
I remember it just kind of occurred to me, you texted me like right when you were starting your year, I think like your strat planning session. Y'all had like a theme of was like plants or growth or something. What was your theme this year?
Yeah, so our theme was like elevate. And so we had also like DEI in ours. So we wanted to discover, we wanted to elevate, and we wanted to ignite our community. And so that really, like, the bones of that was we had a lot of stuff that we didn't know just because the previous year we didn't do a lot. We had a lot of board like attrition. And so I wanted to have a year that was just focused on what does our community want and need from us. And by our community, I mean not just our members, other marketers in Colorado, right? We have tons of small business owners. We have folks that, go to universities and traditional institutions, but we also have folks that are at community college or tech or trade schools. And so many other folks that we weren't, maybe doing the best at welcoming them or inviting them into this space of meet and greet people, stay top of mind for this next job or really get the education that you need because maybe you just fell into marketing, right? Like that was really important to me. And so this year we really did a lot of like planting the seeds, doing things consistently, and then seeing where we're at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember you did something with like seeds and plants or green
Mhm.
stuff. You guys y'all had a really cute theme. I remember you sharing that with me. And do you feel like you have carried that through so far, like most of your year?
Yeah, I think we definitely started the year like really strong. I mean, we have a really great team on board. And I think I did learn though that having our board kickoff like in May last year, where we had a lot of time to like plan and folks to digest where I thought we were going, but also getting buy-in and like you build the plan that matches or what is going to help the comms department, meet these initiatives. But I think that in the winter, like holiday season, we saw like a little bit of a downturn in just overall engagement, right? And then also, when you ask who I am, the other really important piece to me is Granddaddy is now 91 years old, and I do some part-time caretaking for him. And so he had a really rough patch November, December. And so I was a lot more hands off with the chapter. And I think that the light bulb went off to like, this is why you need a PE. This is why, really active secretary could help because things shouldn't stop if I have to step away for a little bit. But also what made me feel good in that is knowing that like I have a team of people that look forward to hearing from me. I have a team of people that are like, oh shoot, something must be going on because we haven't heard. Like she bugs us in Slack, she sends a weekly email, and when those things didn't happen, it was like, oh crap, what's going on here? So, I think that we're starting now to like build the momentum back and like really get more active just with events and stuff like that. But I definitely do. Long story short, yes, I think that we've planted some really good seeds and they've they've sprouted, and now we just have to keep watering them and
Yeah.
you know, adjusting the lighting when it's not right for them and all that stuff.
Nice. Well, I hope granddaddy's okay.
He's doing better. He's just, you know, now he's just 91 and grouchy, but you know, cold and flu season hits old people hard for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Well, and that time of year too, I think most chapters kind of, I mean, I'm not gonna say like go off the grid, but most chapters I think have kind of a quieter season towards the end of the year. And then things kind of rev back up, in the new year and we finish strong. I don't know about you, girl, but I've been counting down the months because I'll be like, I'm only president for 22 and a half days. No, I've got to count down.
Oh, I
I
mean, if I wasn't doing a second term, there might
Yeah.
be, but that just is not in the card.
No, no, I hear that. I hear that. So I'm curious, like, how did you initially get involved with AMA? Like, what's like your path to becoming this amazing president that you are about to take on a second year?
Yeah, so it's funny that you ask that because the that is exactly the reason why I wanted to have a theme the way that we do. So I initially reached out to AMA Colorado, just like interested in volunteering. And because I started my small business almost 5 years ago, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I'm not a marketer by trade. I worked in healthcare for 14 years before starting a business. So I was like, oh, I have this website. Now what the hell do I do? Let me go find people that know how to like do all of the marketing things. So I filled out the contact form, interested, interviewed with, at the time it was the president-elect and president, and they were like, ding, you should be our DEI director. And I was like, whoa, what? Because I'm a woman of color, because I don't
That's what
know
I was
why,
gonna say.
but
Like,
okay.
why was that the first? Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it went a little like that. So that was like mid-year that year because it was around like September, October. So I did the rest of the year as director of DEI and then went into my president-elect year, and then here I am. So I guess this is really almost yeah, I'm going into my fourth year.
So this is blowing my mind. I didn't realize like you just started your small business and you really used AMA as a resource for yourself in building that business. And so your leadership in AMA almost coincides completely with the timeline of you starting your own and stepping into your power as an entrepreneur and a business owner. Dude, that's amazing. Like I get goosebumps thinking about that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. And just, you know, all of the connections like you and then the Aaron Templar, like it's just been really
Oh,
great.
shout out to Aaron Templar if you're
Yes,
watching.
Aaron.
Aw,
What's up, Aaron?
Aaron.
But yeah, and again, like I didn't even know about this community, right? And so if I had that experience, it's like I know there are others out there that could benefit from coming to a website assessment workshop or whatever that looks like, right? And just a place to ask people questions about whatever kind of marketing content they want to know about.
So your virtual assistant business, do you predominantly focus in on like clients that are in the marketing space or is it just kind of runs the gamut?
No, it's actually, I don't have any clients that only do marketing,
What?
actually. Yeah, but I take care of like email newsletters, some of their social media, and then also some traditional like admin stuff. So like monitoring their inbox and scheduling meetings and things like that.
Wow, that's neat. Okay, interesting. I didn't know these things. This is why we do this because like it's so cool. Just really cool to get to know like your background and healthcare for 14 years. Nuts. What
Yeah,
a shift. I'm
yeah.
really curious. like it takes somebody with a lot of uh guts and courage to start their own business. Like how has that gone for you? And would you do it again?
That's a loaded question. So, really the catalyst was I had Cameron at the end of 2018, and this was
That's the baby.
before
That's the little
that's,
baby.
that's the baby, that's the 5-year-old. And that was pre-pandemic, and work from home, remote stuff wasn't really a thing in healthcare. And so it was like this push-pull battle with my employer of like, can I stay at home for 2 days a week? Because I want to be more of a mom. Like my first 3 kids, like I went right back to work, not even a full 6 weeks. So I was like, Cameron is the caboose. This is the time to like do things the way I wanted. So I just thought about what could I do that translates well. And like administrative things has always been a part of my roles in healthcare. And so I did the thing. It has been a journey for sure, and I still learn things every day. The biting off more than I could chew is punching me in the face often. I'm still learning that, but I do think that I would be a horrible employee now, if I ever thought that I wanted a real job, just because it doesn't matter if I work at 6 a.m. or 3 a.m. I can do things on my time and not feel guilty about taking time to do the things that fill my cup, which is really my kids. I want to be on field trips. We have a lot of sports going on around here. So, yes, I would do it again. And I would have a roadmap of all the things to not do to cause me heartburn over the last almost 5 years.
Yeah, but that's so incredible. Like taking that leap and really crafting the life that you want. I feel like there's freedom in that. I'm terrified of that, but it sounds so it sounds like something everybody should do and crave for. But I'm like, oh my God, I could never. I don't know.
I
I
don't know. I really miss group health insurance.
There's pros and cons to everything. Yeah.
Exactly,
There is pros
exactly.
and cons. I work at a higher I work for a university, and so we're a state university, and that's one of the pros. Like I don't pay a dime for my health care. It's free. Yeah.
I miss
Well,
that.
like the
Working in
premium, like I
healthcare,
pay co-pays and stuff, you know.
right, right, but not your, and that, like, working in healthcare, it was the same. And like, University of Colorado was like the place to go, like all of the best physicians. And so working there was like you have access to the best of everything and you can send a quick email. I miss those things. I
Yeah.
definitely.
But you're not going to get this time back with the kiddos either, you know, when they're little and they need you, especially like the high school, middle school, and elementary school age, man, they got you running around like nuts.
They do. If anybody watching this podcast wants a 15-year-old daughter, you send me, send me an email immediately.
I do not have kids. I am an aunt to 3 nephews, and I love it. And I love it when I can give them back to
Mhm,
their parents.
mhm.
So,
Yes, yes,
that's awesome. Okay, so I can't believe we could just talk all day long, but we got like, I don't know, 9, 10 more minutes left. I got to get to some juice about your chapter. What
yes.
we're like in April, so we only have a couple months left in this term. I know you're going to take on a second one, but what has gone well, like super great? You feel we are killing it in this area, and then maybe like what's one of like your biggest challenges, either for the chapter, or like for you personally as a leader and as the president? You're like, oh, I really wish that blank were to happen.
Yeah, if I could say what's going well, I really do think that we started the year with having the right people in the right roles.
Oh my God, that's so important.
Yeah,
Yes.
haven't we haven't always done the best job of that, right? We just assume that this person does email marketing at their day job, so they want to do it here, and maybe that's not it. And so I think that sometimes that contributes to some of that attrition, right? Like I just don't want to do another thing. And so what I feel like has gone really well is the folks that are where they're at right now, they like it and they were put there because they asked to be put in that specific thing. So I think that has gone really well. Outside of, a couple of months of me being a little bit more absent, I feel like the level of engagement that they get from me has been good and a little bit different than what we've experienced in the past. And then the team is just like really doing the work, right? Like I can't take credit for the things that are going on. They're putting out the emails, the social is consistent, our programming and events are consistent. Like they are really kicking ass at all of these things. And I'm just like so grateful because it's not a lot of work for me. Like again, I always joke on our meetings, like my job is to make sure that you guys eat, that you have something to drink, and that you get all this fun swag. Like that's my job. You guys are doing all the heavy lifting. So I'm really grateful. I'm
I
really
love that. I think that's how it should be, in a leadership role. Like you're the number one supporter, you're the coach, you're the one making sure like you're, blocking and tackling, or I'm not a sports person, I don't know. But, clearing the path
yeah.
for your team to rise to their success and their full potential in their space. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
totally 100% agree with making sure that your board is doing something, or every member on the board is doing something that they find valuable to them personally or to their professional goals. Because I think we've said this before, none of us are getting paid for this. Like, what are we getting out of it? Like, there's got to be something that, and maybe it's just like the satisfaction of knowing that I'm contributing to something, or maybe it's just being a part of the community, whatever that why is. It's so important to know what the why is for each and every one of the people on your board.
Right. Exactly.
And to align to that, that's power. Like that infuses energy, I think. And probably one of the reasons why you're having such a successful year so far.
I hope. I hope. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So on the flip side, what's a challenge you're currently facing? Well, you kind of mentioned one earlier, finding somebody to be PE. That's a challenge I think a lot of chapter leaders are facing right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one, because the PE role isn't really clearly defined, right? So people don't even know what they're getting themselves into. And so I've also spent some time behind the scenes this year really creating that roadmap so that when I do, I've been dating a few people. That's what I call it in my recruitment. I've been dating a few
I
people
mean,
on
that's a little
the
creepy. I'm
board.
not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I've been courting a couple people on the board of
I've
just like
been stalking a few people
yes.
just on the side.
Checking their temperatures to see, but really I think that like they need to be set up for success and like understand what they're getting themselves into because it could be a scary thing to be approached to like you want to be PE. Like I was scared when I was approached, but I also didn't even know what I was saying yes to. Like had no idea and then spent my PE year not really doing much because it wasn't defined. And so yes, I think that that is a challenge of finding that role. I'm knocking on wood, super worried about getting them onboarded like soon after the year starts because again, I've been courting the people, we have the plan. Um, and then just the other challenge is just I think my leadership style is not for everybody in terms of like I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't want to micromanage like the process or any of that. I understand on the flip side that that could be like she doesn't really care or maybe she's too casual or this that or the other, but like if we have to cancel an event, we have to cancel an event. And that might not feel good for some people that are like, well, what are we doing? Why did we do this, that, or the other? But I'm not going to have an event where we only have 5 people registered, right? Like, that's not fair for the speaker. That's not fair for the venue that donated to us. And so I think that the challenge is really just walking the line of, you know, how I do things versus like how folks want to receive them or, us just being aligned with certain things. But I am who I am. My strengths all like I did strength finders with Aaron and literally all of mine fall in the relationship category. Like
Really?
all the rest are like
Oh, wow.
How to like, so I really am focused on like,
Yeah.
are people happy? Are people engaged? And so that's not always the best fit for folks.
Yeah, and see, I get that, like, I'm one of those people, like, I have a hard time canceling an event, but you're right, like, it isn't fair if the attendance is not there, if we didn't do what we needed to do to get the people there, like, that's on us as a chapter, and as a president, I think so many people take it all on, like, "We've got to do this, we've got to do this," but it's a team, like, we as the leader, the president, I think our job is to make sure that the process and the ability to do these things is there, not to do every single one of the things, right? You
Mhm.
lay out the vision, we all agree to this as being our strategic plan. Now it's up to the individuals how much you want to show up and really execute on that. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
On the flip side, on Strengths Finders, like I'm all basically purple, like, I'm all executing, like, I look at it, the colors, like, you're
Yep.
blue,
Yep.
relationship, I'm
Yep.
purple, it's like, I gotta get this done, I gotta, like, cross things off my and, like, I need to be productive in order to, I don't know, survive life, but dude, we're almost at the end of our time, that's nuts, it just went by so fast, but I have another question, I have another
Yes.
question. Well, maybe it's more like a minute for you to brag on yourself because girl, you are in all the things. You're president, you run your chapter, you're also on the DEI committee, you're also helping support this wonderful empowered leadership summit that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. So you're not just doing just like a little thing over here in the corner. You're doing all of the things and um it's really amazing to see. We just covered just barely about, the DEI committee, diversity, equity, inclusion, and having another woman of color in a leadership role. That's important. Like we don't talk about that enough. Uh it's been one of my like shining glories in this work is that we have now so many new faces and people stepping up and stepping into this. So however we got there, maybe we were both the token in some way
Right. Right.
at one point, but hey, we're changing. Like the tide is changing for AMA, I think.
It is definitely changing. And it's interesting that you say that because as far back as the last like 15 years of AMA Colorado presidents, because I couldn't find anything before that, but we're gonna say that loosely. I've been the first Black female AMA Colorado president, and that was something that I really struggled with, like
Yes.
been talking about.
Yeah.
One, because our landscape in Colorado just is not super diverse, right? And so there's a fine line between how do we amplify the voices of our other people of color without making others maybe feel excluded.
Sure.
So again, just the theme in general is just we want to discover, elevate, and ignite the community and whatever that means is, and I think that the more representation that we have on the board for our speakers, and I've had to send some things to folks and be like, can we use a person of color gift this month? Or can we, make sure that we have this, that, or the other? And that's okay. The board has always been like super receptive to it. But I think that that is the way that we make real change and get to the folks that we've been missing is they need to see themselves. They
Yes.
need to be invited by somebody else that looks like them. So when I send invites to our workforce centers and other like communities that I'm a part of, like coming from me because they know that I'm a woman of color, like, oh, this is a safe space for me. And that's just how we're going to continue to grow and
Absolutely.
activate our community in that way.
Absolutely, 100,000% agree. Just us being here, we are representing, people of color, women of color. Uh, I, I, I'm like you. I can't definitively say like I'm the first Latina president of PCC, but looking at it, it kind of looks that way too,
Mhm.
So, and I think next year, Karen McFarlane, who's going to take over as president, is going to be the first Black female president. Maybe the first Black president ever of a council for AMA. Like we're still fact checking that, but that's incredible, right?
Huge,
So
amazing.
go us. I don't know. Yeah, go us. But
Go.
Yeah, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks in Chicago. And depending on when people are watching this, maybe we'll see you in Chicago too, or maybe you'll see this after and we'll have already seen you. So who knows? It's a mystery. But
Yes.
and I can't wait to just be among friends and there for the cause. It's going to be amazing. I have the Empower background. I just love it because I just like try to position myself under the crown a thousand like percent of the time.
Yes, that is accurate.
If you do not know, like this year's summit is themed Empower, and it is going to be, I don't know, like it's going to be fierce, like sneaker ball and all. It's going to be an amazing time, and I can't wait.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and I'm not as upset about not being the first. I'm fine.
I mean, you can't hide it. You're a diva girl. We know. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye,
watching.
all.
We'll catch you on the next